Hey everybody, this is Jen. Welcome to my channel. Today we are doing another homesteading tutorial. I will be showing you how to get an incubator set up for hatching your own chicks. So follow me along right here on Garden Jen's Journey. Okay, so we are going to try hatching our own chicks this year. We did some last year, and the incubator we had was not a very good one. We had some really disastrous results. I will link that video up above so you can watch it at your leisure. After having such a rough year last year between hatching our own chicks and dealing with the issues of inhumane hatcheries, I wasn't sure I was ever going to raise chicks again. But we decided to go ahead and give it a go. But today I'm going to show you how to set up an incubator so you can hatch your own chicks. That way you don't have to go to the farm stores and pay for them and worry about those chicks coming from hatcheries that are inhumane or are known to have ill flocks. So you can hatch your own from your own stock and know what you're getting when you hatch your own chicks. So let's head out into the kitchen where I have my incubator, and I will show you how to get it set up and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and use this incubator. It has very, very good reviews, and I've talked to people who've actually used it as well from personal experience. So we're going to give this one a go. Like I said, the one I used last year, I would not tell anybody to use that one. It was just disaster. So we're going to go ahead and open the box. I had opened it once already, but I wanted to show you guys what's in it. So here's a box. It's our incubator. And it's packaged very well, which is nice. The one we had last year was styrofoam. It was like a big igloo cooler, and it was just very poor quality material for quite an expensive price. For this one, I think it's about $10 more than the one that I got last year. But it's plastic, not styrofoam, and it's got a lot of nice working parts as far as all your little digital stuff right here, and the way that the wires are set up underneath, a lot cleaner, and I think this is going to be better overall. So okay, so we're going to take the tape off here. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what we have here is we have, let's see if I can get it to come apart. Alright, there we go. So this is the base. This is where the water goes that you put in to keep the humidity that's needed to hatch chicks. And then on the top of that is your egg plate. This is where your eggs actually sit. And this little gizmo is your egg turner. This has an automatic egg turner that rotates to turn your eggs. Just like if it was underneath a hen, they do rotate their eggs. So you gotta get to sit back on there. There we go. And then of course the top, which has your computer components. And it has a vent here that you can use to control your humidity, which is very important. Too little humidity and your eggs are going to dry out. Too much humidity and your chicks will drown. So we found that out the hard way last year. So, very important. So, these come with great instructions. what you have to do before you even think about putting eggs in here is you have to proof the incubator. You have to run it for quite a few hours to make sure that it comes up to temperature and then it holds humidity. If it does those two things, you're good to go, and then you can load this up with eggs. If not, you have to see if it's fixable or if you have to take this back to where you bought it from. So we're going to go ahead and get this set up and get it so it can do its test run. And then later on we are going to load it up with our eggs. Alright, there we go. I forgot to show you, tucked away in that little corner pocket is the power supply unit that you use to power your incubator. Alright. Okay, so I have my power supply plugged into my outlet here in the corner. And we're going to go ahead and plug it into the incubator to get it set up. They have it labeled here for your convenience that we have one spot for our power, and then the other spot is for the egg turner itself. And it's really neat because when it's time to stop turning your eggs, you just unplug it, not a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. We're not plugging in the egg turner right yet. Alright. And you hear that alarm that lets you know that it turned itself on. Okay, so I don't know if the camera can pick up the green very well. It looks kind of blurry from my end, but it's showing what the current temperature is and what the current humidity rate is right now. We haven't added any water yet. There is a fan. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but there is a fan that blows to circulate the air because that's very important. So you can see it's already climbing in temperature. For chicken eggs, they sit at 99.5, and so it's got to get up to 99.5, and then we have to add water so our humidity gets up to 50. Right now it's sitting at 48, which is interesting because there's no water in it. So I'm going to show you how we add water to this particular unit. So this is our water ports where we put in our water, and you just fill it up to the top one time and allow the water to drain into the system there. There we go. Let's see. Like I said, these are awesome. So, yep. It gives you all this information. Shoot. And it tells you what not to do, which is very, very important. There's this plug here on this incubator that keeps the extra air from coming out, so you have to leave that in there. But it goes through and tells you everything you need to know. These instructions are awesome. So we're supposed to let this sit for about 6 hours to make sure that it can hold the temperature and it can hold humidity. And then after those 6 hours, if it does all that, we're going to load up our chicken eggs. But first, we actually have to get our chicken eggs out of the refrigerator where we've been keeping them and let them warm up too. And they're supposed to warm up at least 6 to 8 hours. So when you put them in, it does not drop your temperature. So I'm going to go get the chicken eggs and show you what those look like. So these are our eggs that we have from our own chickens. Important thing to know is you want eggs that are less than 10 days old. That ensures that the eggs are still viable. After 10 days, they're not viable for hatching anymore, but you can still eat them. So these eggs are only about 3 or 4 days old, and you keep them in the refrigerator to preserve them, sort of like people do for their embryos. They have them frozen to use later. So you keep these in the refrigerator until the time to put them in the incubator. So we've had this in the refrigerator. In this batch, the reason why we're hatching eggs this year is we have a specific variety of chicken that we really like that's very expensive to get and hard to get sometimes because they sell out so quickly, which is the olive egger chicken. And we have 3 of them, and we have a hybrid of our own chickens that we hatched before that they lay a lighter olive egg. So we collected all those so we can hatch some more olive egger chickens. You see how deep green this is. Very dark. And this one is our hybrid chicken. It's a little bit lighter of a green. Yeah, very, very deep green eggs. And so we wanted to get some more of these hens, so we had enough. And then my husband knows, because I've told him, that if you mix a dark brown egg laying chicken with the, I don't have any, the blue egg laying chickens, you will get a deep green olive egger chicken, because the way that the eggs are made, it's pretty cool. The brown eggs, they are made this way in the duct. The pigment is already in the egg. But the blue eggs, they're an actual, like a dye coating that goes over the egg. So you're going to have, when you mix the two, you're going to have a brown egg that gets coated by the blue dye. And that's how you end up with the deep green color, basically. It's really interesting how that works. So we're going to let these warm up because they're 40 degrees right now. And we will come back, and if this is all set to go, we're going to put these eggs in the incubator and get it going. Okay, so my incubator has been sitting for a couple hours, for a few hours. I lose track of time. But it's holding a steady temperature, steady humidity, and my eggs are warmed up enough where we can put them in. So this is going to be our olive egger chick batch. So we're just going to open our incubator here. And we're going to set our eggs in. The directions say we need to set them with the point side up. Like so. And some of these eggs are kind of big. So I'll see if they work. Alright, there we go. We're going to go ahead and put the top back on. Okay, like so. I made sure that the valve here is opened halfway according to the instructions. That way the humidity is at the proper setting for these eggs. And we're going to make sure that these eggs will rotate okay when the egg turner goes around. If not, we'll have to take out the eggs that don't roll, which might be some of our bigger eggs. So we're gonna see by pressing the plus and minus according to the instructions here. And they did move. Let's see. Okay, even the bigger ones moved a little bit, so that is good. We're good to go. So now it's just going to set back here against the wall. And the timer is automatically set on this machine for 21 days, which is the hatching time for chicks, for chickens, I should say. Other poultry has different time frames of hatching, and that's included in the instructions. One of the things that is very important is to have this in a room that stays between, they say 72 and 85, I think is what it is. Let me double check. I don't want to give you the wrong information. Let's see. Trying to remember, because I had to read this. Temperature. Okay, between 74 and 80, so I was a little off. And so this is in our kitchen. We live in a small home, and this is basically the only building on the property. So we have them in the kitchen, which is warmed by a wood stove, so I have to really monitor that because it can get quite warm in here. But I had checked our temperature here on this thermometer, and right now we're sitting at about 78, so we're doing okay. I need to make sure to keep our fire going though, so it doesn't get too cold in here. So we're just going to let this sit. This will automatically rotate the eggs. I think it's once every 3 minutes or something like that. It moves, it does its thing. And all I have to do is just keep an eye on the numbers up here and make sure they stay within range and adjust as necessary. So I'll bring you back in another video to show you guys if we have eggs that are fertilized or not, because you will see some growth in them in about a week's time. So I will bring you back then. Okay, so that is how to get started with incubating your own eggs from your own flock, or if you purchase eggs from somebody else that are fertilized to hatch yourself. So follow me along and I will continue to document how to incubate and grow your own chicks. Thank you so much for being with me today. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you found it beneficial, and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Love to have you along on this homesteading journey. And as always, I hope that wherever you are, you're wonderfully blessed. So until next time, everybody, bye-bye.